I'm Luca Guadagnino. I am the director of Call Me By Your Name. The movie is an exploration of desire and the power of your own impulses toward one another in a young man played by Timothée Chalamet. The character's name is Elio. He's a total attraction for another young man played by Armie named Oliver. In this moment, there has been a sort of dance of desire between these two boys that has grown through the film until in this very scene, finally they have found the time to be together alone and to try to find a way to talk to one another. And this is the square of a place called Pianengo, and it's a beautiful little town nearby Crema where we shot the film. And we see how in this moment the dynamic of the seduction and teasing and dancing around one another's coyness and impossibility of explaining and expressing what they really feel for one another, it is laid out in relation with this space, this square where there is a big castle, and at the center of it there is a monument for the victims of the World War I, which was very murderous, and it was all about young people dying on the trenches.
Well, you seem to know more than anybody else around here.
Well, if you only knew how little I know about the things that matter.
What things that matter?
And in this conversation, basically, the two boys are discussing about the things that they see, but in reality, they are talking about what they want to say to one another. And they're talking about, I don't have the courage of saying things that I want to say.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I thought you should know.
Because you thought I should know?
Because I wanted you to know.
And the distance that is in between them, that is symbolized physically by this monument, it's the necessary distance that has to be covered for the two of them to finally be united. The piece of music that we used by Ravel, it's always there in the scene whenever they are separated and disappears when they are together. And I thought it was a nice balance between the music of the couple together and the absence of this togetherness that needed to have another kind of music.
My name is Felix Van Groeningen and I am the director of Beautiful Boy. In this scene we see Steve Carell playing the father, David, and Timothée Chalamet playing the son, Nick, meet up. They haven't seen each other in a while. Nick is living on the streets, doing drugs, and agreed to meet with his father to sit down and talk. The father wants to reason with him, try and get him to come home.
This is so weird. This place. Oh, man.
So how you doing?
I'm doing great, just doing what needs to be done. And
What does that mean?
just being responsible for myself, and I've quit on my own, so I got 5 days now. I feel like I'm doing well, but I just need a few $100 though.
Nick, I can't give you any money.
What I find so fascinating in this scene is how many twists and turns there are. They both come in with an agenda. David has a preconceived idea of how he wants to deal with this situation, which is not to criticize his son. Yet the fact that he can't reach him, that he feels that his son is playing him, makes him do things he doesn't want to, and then it becomes this incredible tennis match where you see these two actors really on the top of their game. We rehearsed this scene many times in the lead up to the shoot of this. It's a massive scene, and we played it out every time in one go, and we shot it with 2 cameras in order to be able to capture the energy between them. Often we had Steve's character David be a little bit lower or behind something, or be in a frame that's a little bit too wide, so he felt a little bit lost or a bit off. And here too, it's why we have this low angle and we see the corner of the table cornering him a bit.
Oh, it doesn't look like it's working out, so what, then therapy, huh?
You can come home.
No, that
we'll
wouldn't...
make it work, please. Nick.
Timothée is, I think, the incredibly talented actor. What makes him so great for this movie is his fearlessness. He will take on anything, and he will just go 200% and 300%. And when he hits it right, he just blows you away.
You think that you have this under control. And I understand how scared you are.
I understand why I do things. It doesn't make me any different, all right? I'm attracted to craziness, and you're just embarrassed because I was like, I was like this amazing thing, like your special creation or something, and you don't like who I am now.
Yeah? Who are you, Nick?
This is me, Dad. Here, this is who I am.
You see them trying to connect, but they both realize that it's not working anymore, so it's very sad because of that.
You don't like what you see?
I'm Greta Gerwig, and I directed and wrote the screenplay for Little Women.
Joe, would you like to dance with me?
So this is Laurie, Lawrence, and Joe March, and they're hiding in a back room at a party, and they're talking about maybe trying to dance. And obviously this is Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet, who I adore.
You can laugh if you want to. It's funny, I know.
I have an idea of how we can manage.
And then they dance, well, they're going to dance outside. And this came from, it's in the book that Laurie and Joe dance wildly, they say. But I was looking for a hallway while we were scouting, because it's in a hallway in the book. And I wanted a long hallway, and I had this idea for how it would look. But I couldn't find one. And then I just kept coming back to this location because I liked it. And then I came back at night and I thought, oh, you could see the dancers through the window and then see them outside as these figures having their little party on the porch. And my choreographer, who's very wonderful, Monica Bill Barnes, she created this dance with Saoirse and Timothée. And I wanted it to feel both totally modern and period accurate in terms of, I didn't want them to be doing dances they wouldn't necessarily know, but I did want it to feel joyful and young, like, kids dance. And this is part of the story that takes place in their childhood, obviously, and it has this very snow globe quality. I wanted everything to feel very shimmery and very beautiful, and we shot with a certain filter to give it that feeling, and it has this warmth. We called it this golden glow that we were going for. And every part of it looks like a painting, but also an ornament. And this is, of course, Laura Dern as Armie, and this is the first time you're really inside the March house looking at it through Laurie's eyes and seeing this kind of glorious female utopia. And the actors, I wanted them all to be speaking over each other, which took a lot of coordination, a lot of rehearsal to get this choreographed chaos going.
I enjoy baking in the middle of the night, and don't mind the clutter, Mr. Lawrence. We don't.
Laurie, please.
But I just wanted it to be this cacophony of words and sounds, and everybody's doing something, and there's all these little moments. I looked at a lot of Altman thinking about it, because he always has a way of creating spaces with lots of people and lots of activity. And I thought, one of the beautiful things about Little Women is the way the male characters hold the space for who women are without a spectator, and he's looking at them, but they're existing naturally, and he loves them because of who they are. And I think, Timothée does such a beautiful job, and these girls are so wonderfully loud. And then this kind of position of this magical house that looks like a little mushroom coming out of the ground, but inside it's like a jewel box when you open it up.